All right, we are back. It is the Built by Vitality podcast. I'm back in the hot seat next to
Philip Lewis.
I apologize for all our viewers that had to endure an episode without me, with just Philip,
Nate,
and Spencer.
Did you listen to that episode?
I did.
It was good, right?
It was not bad.
See?
It was not bad.
You're not really needed.
Yep. Well.
Oh, God, I'm glad you're back.
This is episode 82.
Is it?
On today's episode, we are going to talk about
why you were out.
Why I was out, and some things I learned while I was out.
Okay.
So for the first time, I took my daughters and my wife out of the country. My wife and I have been out of the country, but my daughters have not been with us. And went to Dominican. Went on a little vacation, 4 days. 4 days. It actually was really good. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I sometimes don't like being around a ton of people. Mm-hmm. And that was obviously...
Which is all the time?
Nah.
Well, most of the time.
Most of the time. And but that was interesting. So there was just some things that I thought would be... well, it was fresh in my mind. Things that I thought about, things that I was walking around thinking about. And I was like, man... I can't wait to get back and see Philip so we can talk about this. I miss the gym a lot. The last time I went on vacation, the gym flooded.
Every time you go out of town, something happens.
It's really weird. It's really weird.
And this time, something happened, but you had just got back,
and
right?
something happened that's never happened before. It's not like it's that happened again. Yeah. It's something completely different.
So, yeah.
So this time, we get back on a Saturday night late. I'll set the stage for you a little bit just to give you a glimpse into. I'm going to be honest. I was actually proud of my behavior on the way out there. Like I thought the travel day on the way out. My old man is a terrible traveler. He's in travel mode, as we've called it since we were kids. You got to be very careful what you ask the big guy when we're traveling with him, because you'd get a backhand with the ring finger, and you'd get
a little imprint.
Yeah, you'd get beat in the middle of an airport. But
just go with the flow.
But once he got to where he was going, it was awesome. But everybody knows, Capper, you don't have conversations with them. No, we can't get candy. No, we can't stop and use the bathroom. You just figure it out. You know what I mean? So on the way out, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try. I'm just gonna. Just let it go. I'm not going to worry about it. I don't care if I'm not going to ruin anybody's trip out here. Not going to do it. And it's funny. I shouldn't have to. That should just be how it is. But I had to really prepare myself for that. But I did. Flight was great.
How long was the flight?
3 hours.
That's not bad.
No big deal. I watched a couple episodes of Billions and some other stuff. I don't even know what I did, but went fast. And we land. Get transportation to the resort. It was about 35 minutes away. We drove with Helen Keller on the way there. The most dangerous trip I've ever taken.
Really?
Oh, it was terrible.
Oh, my God.
I mean, he used the horn 150 times.
That's good.
No
Safety.
Blinkers, nothing.
Just the horn.
Just the horn.
Hey, we're turning left. Honk, honk.
Crazy. It's wild. But I also thought that was the first thing I thought about was there's no road rage. There was no road rage, which is insane, because
you're allowed to do whatever.
Yeah, there's no speed limit. There's no
you
rules.
can do whatever you want, so nobody gets mad, right?
Which is interesting to me, because if you did one of the 50 moves that he pulled on the expressway on the way there, if we did that here one time, one of them,
yeah,
dude, it's gonna be game over. Someone's following you back to your house.
Yeah, you get your license taken.
Yeah, it's bad news. So that was interesting to me, like. Everyone was so aggressive driving, but nobody got mad. Nobody was flustered. There was no. It's crazy to think about. Why drive like that if you don't care? I guess my thought was
it's like they're driving like they're in a hurry, but
they're not in a hurry.
But they're not.
It's interesting. Yeah. So that's not part of the. That was just an extra. That's an extra little tidbit. So the way down there was great. We were there for 3 full days, and we traveled back. On the way back, I was a little frustrated because I was mad at myself. I took the later of 2 flights back, which made no sense to me. I just wasn't using my head. So we left at like 5 o'clock Dominican time, which is the same time. We're in the same time zone. We land.
Is that why you went there?
Oh, no, I didn't think about that, but no. We land at 9:40, and I'm like, oh, we're home a little early. And then we sit in the runway for 38 minutes until our gate's ready, which I started to get a little frustrated at that point. Things started to go sideways for me. We get through the airport, into the airport, and I can see customs, and there's nobody in line at customs. Nobody. It's just 15 people, 15 TSA people waiting for people to come through. I'm like, guys, we are gonna kill it. Let's go.
Go.
And I get the old tap on the shoulder.
This way.
14-year-old says, I gotta use the bathroom. I said, guys, I got my mother-in-law with me, Jess with me, both my girls.
Go through the restroom on the other side.
And 8. I said, guys, we're not going to the bathroom. And now I start to lose my temper a little bit. And then Charlie looks up at me and says, Daddy, I got to go too.
Oh.
I said, guys, listen to me. We're not. We're right. The finish line is right there.
You can see it.
I can see it. I can see myself in my car driving home. And then Jess gives me listen here. The girls are going to use the restroom, so just figure it out. I said, okay. I
said, give me all the bags. I'm going to customs.
No, we hadn't got our bags yet. We're just walking in. We just got to go through customs. They're in the bathroom, and straight out of a movie, man. 2 planes had let out at the same time.
Oh, man.
I'm telling you, when I say swarms of people, I'm talking groups of 20 to 30 just
beeline
filing by. And I can feel my face just getting ready to explode.
Your skin's getting tight, right?
So I'm thinking I'm just going to go in the bathroom and yank these 2 daughters out of here. And I'm looking at Jess. Jess is looking at me like, relax, it's going to be fine. And I'm like, what do you mean it's going to be fine? I bet you 140 people pass us. And out comes my daughters bebopping around. They're all happy. Their bladders are empty. And I said, let's go. We get in there, and we're in the maze of death. 30 minutes later, we get through customs, get our bags. We got to go, So anyway.
But you had a happy family.
But yeah, family was happy. Anyway, so we go home at 11. And I'm in bed at, just after that. And I had silenced my phone. Because I'm like, man, no one's going to call me that needs me to do anything before. I just want to sleep in as late as I can sleep in. Daylight savings had just hit. I don't know when, soon. So I was still kind of getting adjusted from that.
That night, I think, right?
Was it that night?
It was a week prior. Whatever.
I don't know. It was soon. And at 6:55 or 7 o'clock, I'm sleeping, but I hear like a vibrating thing, like someone's calling my phone.
Yeah.
And I'm not like you. Like I'm a trained killer. Like I'm on edge when I sleep. I'm a light sleeper. You know what I mean?
Actually, I think you need some melatonin.
So I hear this vibrating phone, and I'm like, who is the dead man calling my phone?
I wish it would have been me.
At 7 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. I turn it over. It's Andy Williamson. And I'm like, I'm going to kill him. So at first I was like, I'm not going to answer it. And then I'm like, well, wait a second. Even he wouldn't call me at 7 o'clock in the morning. So I answer the phone. He says, hey, man, listen, I just want to let you know it's not a big deal, but there's electrical fire at the gym. Don't worry. My leadership's there. No need to go in. I said, what? I said, bro, I'm there in 30 seconds. I'll be right there. He's like, I'm not there, but the fire department's there. I said, the fire department's already there? He said, yeah, but don't worry. They can't find it.
They can't find the
but nothing's fire. On fire yet. I said, okay. So I get in the old truck. I drive like a maniac through here. I cut through the back, jumped a little hill on the backside of Odell School. Getting here, there's 3 fire trucks, sirens going, lights flashing, probably 15 firemen. And I walk in, I can immediately smell what everybody else is smelling. It smells like a burnt rubber or some type of electrical burn. And it's like in weird places, upstairs you could smell it, not in the offices. So we looked through for 2 hours. We're looking through everything. Finally, I'm like, listen, guys, everybody freeze. This isn't working. I'm calling Marty. I call Marty. He's sitting probably having coffee, enjoying his Sunday. I said, look, bro, I'm sorry. I just got back last night. I need a favor. He's like, what? I said, I need you to come to Vitality like right now and help me do some stuff. He's like, all right, I'll be there. So he shows up. He figures out in like 10 minutes that it's the outside AC and heating unit, the 20-ton unit we have outside. And it just had the heat strips. It just had some debris on it. And when they fired up that heater, it got that smell, that burning smell, pushed it into the vent, the fans in the main gym took it everywhere, so you couldn't pinpoint where it was coming from. We were shutting down AC units on the roof.
Looking everywhere.
We were looking everywhere.
But it was outside.
Lifts were going. They're trying to figure out, should they cancel church service, the whole deal. So like 9:30, I get back home. I'm like, okay, well, we're never leaving again.
Take a nap.
So that was my my day of getting back, my day of rest to get back, ready to go. So it was pretty good. So it was pretty good. So that really had nothing to do with the lessons I learned or the things I learned. I just thought that was yet again something crazy happened. That's never happened before.
Yeah.
And we've had that unit for 4 years.
Yeah.
4 years.
It's just when you go out of town.
Just when I leave. So and people wonder, like, I don't know why Steve never leaves. Yeah, I don't know either.
So you can have a gym.
Yeah. You want the gym or you want this thing to be a pile of rubble? When's the last time you were out of the country?
3 years ago.
Okay, where'd you go?
Amsterdam.
Okay. So I went to Dominican 13 years ago with my brother and his wife, and it was the four of us. And outside of that, I had been to Mexico maybe, I don't know, 8 or 9 years ago for a wedding or something. But then that's it. I hadn't left the country. I went to Turks and Caicos with some adults, but I haven't taken the kids out of the country.
They've always stayed here.
Yep. It's different because when you're just with adults, you don't have to be as vigilant. In my opinion, you still got to pay attention. Don't get me wrong. But it's different when you got kids because there's things that you can't do. You know, if something were to happen, there's different things that you can't do when you got little kids, especially, I don't say little, a 14-year-old and an 8-year-old, but especially girls, you know, and I'm traveling with my mother-in-law, my wife, and my 2 daughters. So I got 4 women.
Girls and you're just you.
Yeah. And when I tell you that I love my wife, but when it's time to travel, like she wants nothing. She just want to be in charge, no decisions, and that's fine. Like, I'm not going to be the guy that's like, hey, Phil, will you just handle everything and just tell me where I got to be? You know, I'm going to end up running the show.
Yeah.
But she just kind of knows I'm going to take over, and she's just done. I'll wake her up when I get there type of deal. And so it was interesting because I started noticing things. Now I'm at we're used to going wherever we go. We're usually just around adults. You know, I'm not, if you're going on an adult vacation, why would you ever go to a kid-friendly hotel?
Yeah.
It'd be like, if you don't have a dog, why would you stay at a pet-friendly hotel?
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
There's no point.
You know what I mean?
Unless you just love animals that much.
Yeah,
but
I don't.
You do that with kids, something's wrong with you.
Yeah, you're probably going to go to jail.
Yeah.
So I started to pay attention a little bit. You get there, and we went to this all-inclusive place, so all your meals are paid for. I don't drink, but all the alcohol was free. And
that's why you didn't invite me.
Yeah, I should have. You should have made up for what I didn't spend in my ticket for alcohol. But you know, the first thing that I noticed that really stood out to me was how rude mostly Americans were. Like I would say there's probably 80% were Americans. The other 20% were different, you know, from different countries, maybe Europe or Canada or wherever. You know, they were different from a different place other than the States. But the majority of them visiting, we were all from America. We were all from the States. And we were just super rude. Crazy, man. You know, I've always thought that everyone should wait tables. Everyone should be in the service industry at some point in their life because they need to understand what that's like. And you wouldn't be so rude to your waiter and waitresses if you could understand what it was like to be in their shoes, you know. But now you're talking about all the food is pretty much there. There's like a huge buffet, and it's just the way that people communicated to other people. It wasn't even just the staff, the way that the Americans were so rude to the staff. They were rude to each other, like cutting in lines and just being obnoxious. And it was really, I was surprised by it and just disappointed. Like, man, this is no wonder we have the reputation we do at these places of just, you know, spoiled, just lazy, you know, Americans. Like, there's no way that these places like the Dominican or any tourist attraction has a good taste in their mouth with the American population because to deal with that every day, I'd lose my mind. The way that these people talk to the staff and talk to each other was crazy.
They said that when I went to Amsterdam. They were like, God, you Americans and y'all's whatever food and lifestyle and what they were like. You tell an American they can't have this food, or they gotta wait to eat, or they gotta do something. Y'all freak out, or they just and I wasn't freaking out. They just started talking about it, and they've experienced that, which is that we have that stigma with us.
And think about it. Now, I would like to think, because I was a terrible waiter and a terrible bartender in college, but it taught me so much about how hard of a job that is.
You were a bartender?
Yeah, I was terrible.
Hey, Steve, can I get a beer? Nope, you're getting the water.
Half the things I didn't know how to make, so I would just be like,
"Oh my gosh,
try again. Try. How about a rum and coke? If it didn't,
it's like two things.
Yeah, that was
you
it.
don't need six things.
Yeah. So, and these guys are just constantly hustling and hustling and hustling. It's just ridiculous. I would like to consider myself a very courteous person when it comes to being patient with the service business, but it's overshadowed by everybody else. Mm-hmm. It's overshadowed by everybody that treats people so poorly. So that was something that I guess, I don't know why I was surprised by it. I mean, that's par for the course, because that's just the way our society has become, is just
rude and in a hurry.
Yeah. Just extremely rude. They're used to hiding behind a phone or a tablet and being able to say whatever they want to say, and no one ever calls them on it, And so yeah, that was too bad. The other thing that I thought about was, I think it was surprising how it's almost like we forgot that we only get one body. It's like people forget that you can't just turn this thing in. When Philip hits 50, you can't be like, you know what? I was really stupid, and I'm gonna transfer myself. Yeah. I'm gonna get a newer frame.
Yeah.
You
can't do that.
You don't get that. And what I mean by that is, one of the things that everyone told us when we got there was, hey, the UV index is 9. From what I understand, the UV index is 0 to 10.
It's a 9.
At 9, it means you're getting
some bullfrog.
Yeah, your liver's getting fried from the inside out. I mean, it was hot.
Yeah.
But it had a breeze, so it was kind of
humid, but it's still hot.
It was hot. It wasn't humid, but the breeze kind of threw you for a loop, because you're like, I'm not hot. But then all of a sudden you could just feel your skin, like if you bacon. So I was smothering myself in like the old lotion 50, like the people, looked like a white,
Yeah, with the white strips across your face, your nose.
And I was telling Charlie, my 8-year-old, I said, hey, we got to be really careful the first day, because you get burned. I mean, you ever been super burned?
Yeah, it ruins the whole trip.
Yeah.
I thought I had water on my shoulders one time from fishing on the pier all day. And when I got back to the room, I said, man, the water's still there, the sweat's still there. And I went to go like this. It was water blisters. It was from getting so much sun, and your skin, it ruined the whole trip.
How'd the rest of it, yeah.
I had to wear long sleeve, didn't go out during the day because it was so miserable. It just ruins everything.
And I'm not saying, like, look, I'm not judging you because you want to get a tan.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is just be smart, man. Understand that
you don't have to go from white to, I don't know,
I guess
brown
it's just
in one day.
I guess it's just hard for me to empathize with people that don't understand. I got blonde hair, blue eyes, and I'm about as white as it can get. I am not going to be as dark as some people.
Yeah.
And if I try to do that, I'm going to fry myself.
Yeah.
So, I was trying to be very conscious of that, and but you see people, you walk around and they're just, they're lobsters, and
they got leather skin.
Yeah, and you just wonder, like, gosh, what in the world are you gonna do tomorrow? And they're just miserable. And on top of that, the way that people, and again, I'm not. It sounds like I'm being judgmental. I don't want it to come off like that, because I'm not. Because look, I had dessert at every meal.
Yeah. You're on vacation.
For 4 days. Believe me, I want to be able to let my hair down and eat whatever I want. But people just take it too far. We live in this world to where there is no moderation. Everything is in excess. And they know it. These resorts know it. And you can just look at the type of foods they're putting out because they know what Americans want to eat.
Yeah.
Just crap. And then you talk about the drinks.
Some fried food, some tannin accelerator, and some alcohol.
And I mean, look, again, I'm with you. If you're on spring break, I remember what it was like to be on spring break. I remember what I was doing all day on spring break. But let me bring this full circle. We're not in high school anymore.
Yeah.
We have kids, and we're at a family resort. Like if you're wasted at 11 o'clock or noon in the afternoon, like what in the world kind of message are we sending to all the kids that are there that see the adults act like idiots? Mm-hmm. So that was just something that it's like, man, understand that, it's the reason people will treat their bodies this way is because you can treat your body like crap and you won't see the result of that for probably 10, 15 years. Yeah. Really, you're going to obviously feel terrible, but you're going to think that's normal. Yeah. But before you actually start having real issues, it's going to be years down the road. So
kind of like jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, exactly. Man,
like about 10 more years are going to be
10 more years, I'll know how to shrimp down the mat.
My ear is going to look like this headphone right here.
But I thought that was something that, again, I don't know why it surprised me, but it just did. And I think it's just we forget how many people are watching us. We forget all the eyes of our kids that are watching us, that we're going to turn around in 5 years and try and say, oh, hey, listen, you shouldn't drink to the point where you don't know what's going on. But just forget that time we were on vacation. Every time we go on vacation and I'm drunk by noon and I don't, and I'm an idiot, So it's just,
people will be like, oh, well, I'm on vacation. It don't matter. But there's a flip side to that. If you're whatever at the beach and you're eating all this crap food, you're smoking, you're drinking, you're walking up and down the beach and you're just fried red and whatever from sunburn, well, it's okay, I'm on vacation. Yeah, but if you're doing that, that means you probably are used to doing that when you're not on vacation. It'd be different if you cared about that stuff all year long than for 7 days you just kind of let loose and moderated it a little bit. But I think they're just used to it.
Yeah, and look, like I said, I think, I really hope that people don't hear this and say, man, what does he think? We're not supposed to drink on vacation. No, I'm not telling you that. All I'm saying is, if it's me, and I have nothing against people that drink, I think
just
that
be mindful about it.
I think drinking is completely fine if you can moderate it. But why not just start in the evening before dinner? Maybe have a drink or two before dinner, have a couple drinks with dinner, put your kids to bed or whatever, let them go and hang out, and then have a couple more, and you can get kind of silly in the evening before bed. I'm with you. But there's just no point in doing that at 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock.
Stumbling on the beach.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. But again, the other one was, you can convince yourself of anything. And what I mean by that is, I told myself for 4 years, man, my kids aren't ready to go on vacation. My kids aren't ready to travel. It's just going to be, they'll have a terrible time traveling and whatever. And it's interesting because I believed it. I convinced myself that was why I wasn't going to take the kids anywhere, because they're not ready.
Down, yeah.
And here I am now. I got an 8th grader and a 2nd grader, and I sat next to my 8-year-old on the way home, and she did better than I did. I threw a fit about the masks a couple times. I pouted and whined about them. She just sat there and watched her shows and colored and drew, and 3 hours and 20 minutes on the way home. She didn't get up and go to the bathroom one time. Just when you were got back. Yeah, we should have
held it the whole plane ride, but the 20 seconds it would take to go through this customs. Nope, gotta go now.
Yeah, and it was. I look back, I'm like, gosh, I'm such an idiot. Now I'm kind of looking. Am I looking forward to doing this again? No, I'm not, because I just don't like vacation. I'm just not a vacation guy. And that's okay.
You go on vacation with me or something?
Yeah, well, I don't think you want to take me. But I think the girls have a great time. Jess loves it. Jess loves the beach. She loves the ocean. Reagan, my 14-year-old, loved the ocean. She spent hours in the ocean. It was great.
If I ever moved somewhere, it'd be the beach, 100%. Yeah. No mountains, no middle.
I'm a mountain guy.
Whatever.
I don't want to be anywhere by the beach. I like the beach, but here's the problem. You know what the beach brings? People.
Depends where you go.
There is no ocean, no ocean front that you want to be at that's not climbing with people? Give me a spot. Give me a spot.
I'll tell you.
What? You're afraid that me and you and my 70 listeners are gonna 17 listeners are gonna go?
Some places like on the North Carolina coast, like you'll hear them call like the old people beaches, like Garden City, like little hidden places. They're not that packed.
All right. Well, then
you can go there and enjoy it.
Take me there with you next time.
Sullivan's Island.
Never heard of it.
I don't have any money to go there.
Oh, that's where you got to drive. You take a ferry over there.
Either that, or they just have that one bridge kind of past Charleston. But it's awesome. It's secluded.
Yeah, so that was. I think we do that in our everyday lives as well, where you convince yourself of something, and you're so good at convincing yourself of that you don't do certain things. And I'm not saying I should have done it earlier. I'm glad I finally did it. And now I know, like, man, I'm an idiot. The girls are fine. It's really me. I'm the problem. I am the weak link in the vacation chain for sure.
I've always had bad experiences at, say, like concerts or something, or going on trips too. Like, and it was because of whoever I was dating at the time. Like, they'd get drunk. I had to take care. It was just miserable. So I kind of brought that into the relationship with Morgan. She always wanted to go to a concert or go somewhere. When I first started dating her, I was like, I don't really I got work to do, or I don't feel like I'd make something up. But really, on the flip side, I was like, it's probably going to be a terrible experience. What if she does the same thing and I have the same experience? And after I finally did it a couple times, I was like, okay, she has common sense. Yep. She's not going to act like that.
And I think that was I completely agree. And I love Jess. Have a couple drinks, and she's very what's the word I'm looking for when
mature.
She's very structured in her everyday life, very structured, so she can relax a little bit. It's really kind of a fun dynamic when you get one or two, and she's 100 pounds.
I would imagine if she's like very busy with work, she has a structure, she's whatever, her sleep's just whatever she does. Then on vacation, her relaxing is probably going to be somewhat okay.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you have somebody that lets loose all the time and their schedules all over the place, when they go on vacation, it's going to be nightmare.
So the fourth one's a pretty easy one. This is, again, not a surprise, but man, America has created the laziest society I can remember. You go over there to any of these other, I would say, third world places, and you've got guys that are making a living by driving an hour and a half to and from the resort to work, or they stay there for 3 weeks on, 1 week off type of deal. Yeah. And they're working from 6 a.m. until 8 p.m. type of deal. And then you got people that aren't as lucky as that are walking the beach in jeans, tennis shoes, sweatshirts, and a big hat,
trying not to bake and sell the sun.
Trying to sell, trinkets to people all day long to make, $30 or $40 a day. I will bet you any amount of money that you couldn't find one person in America to walk up and down the beach for more than 5 minutes and be able to do that.
That'd be awful.
People would rather sit home and do nothing and make no money and be homeless than do that. And it's just, it's hard to see that, because that leads me into the other one is, don't complain about the United States. Don't complain about what we have going on here. Don't complain. Don't be divisive. Don't sit here and whine about how hard you have it. Mm-hmm. There is no place else on the planet that provides the type of opportunities that the United States of America does for its citizens. And here's the thing. If you don't like it, then leave and go somewhere else, and you'll change your mind very quickly.
You'll come back pretty quick.
Very quickly, because you go 4 miles outside those resorts, and it's a different story. It's a different type of living with different type of people that
there's no traffic laws. There's no you just
no, man.
No, you're your own place, like
and that's the tough part is everybody thinks they're entitled to all these things in the States. It's crazy to me, like the type of attitude that we currently have as a nation is just, it's crazy. If it's up to me, every single place, every business, every school is hanging an American flag and being super proud of how lucky we are to live here. Mm-hmm. And if you don't feel that way, bye.
Yeah.
You know, and I guess it just took me leaving to become even more passionate about that, because.
And people that say that, what are they basing that off of? Something they seen on TV or the
TikTok,
news?
So Instagram.
That goes back to what we were talking about last week, trying new things.
Yeah.
Go ahead and try new place. Go ahead and try.
Go out and move to Rio for a month. You tell me what happens in Rio.
You're going to be like, okay, I can base this off a true real life experience.
Yeah.
Okay, America ain't that bad.
Yeah, maybe it ain't that bad. Maybe my $18 an hour minimum wage job, maybe I should just, shut up and go to work.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just me, though. So that was, that really hit home as we were driving through. And look, there's bad areas in the States, don't get me wrong. But it's different. It's next level when you go to these other places.
Yeah.
And then last thing that I always come back to, and my 14-year-old and I, we were walking around, and I would play a game with her and say, let's count how many people we walk past that have no idea what me or you look like, which means their head was completely down, looking at their phones. And here's why places like Dominican or Mexico, and I'm making a generalization, but one of the reasons why it's so dangerous in these places is because we allow ourselves to be put into situations that are way more dangerous than they have to be.
You're an easier target.
By far.
You make yourself an easier target.
When you're constantly walking around, texting or looking at your phone or doing Instagram, it's crazy. I honestly don't know how you can walk the way or even know what's going on, because you're just constantly on your phone. And then we took it one step further. I get so mad when my kids take their phone out, or Charlie doesn't have a phone, Reagan, and I even get on Jess. She doesn't do it, but every once in a while she'll pull it out, and I'm like, what? There's no phones at dinner.
Yeah.
None. And we're on vacation, and I say, Reagan, look around right now. And I'm telling you, most people had their phones out, looking at their phones in one of the most beautiful scenery I can remember seeing. And that is just, you're just begging to get yourself in trouble.
If you're on a family vacation, you'll see the mom, the dad, the kids, everybody has their phones out at dinner, and you're like, dang, they're not even talking.
Yeah.
Like they're just, what kind of vacation is that?
Yeah.
Everybody's on their own vacation, but they're together.
And then just for a safety, just sheer safety measures, man, you are putting yourself in such a position to where you have no idea what's going around your surroundings, and you have no idea who's coming up on you, who's not coming up on you.
If I was going to rob you or jump you, well, how am I going to pick you if you're looking straight ahead, you're looking around, there's nothing in your hands, and you're like, you're alert.
Yep.
You're upright. You know what's going on. But if your head's down, you got a big bag, you got your phone, you're not.
And look, I would say that,
it happens. But
again, it's a generalization, but females, especially younger teenage girls, are the ones that are probably the biggest target at these places. I'm sure, males get it too, but females are a way higher target than men are. And they're the biggest violators of just not paying attention. Yeah. And now all of a sudden, you're not paying attention you're sitting down, you're not paying attention to where your drink is, you're not paying attention of who's making your drink, who's bringing it to you, it's just, it's very simple to mitigate some of these issues. And when you go to these places, it was very safe if you pay attention. And I'm not saying if I wasn't even paying attention, something would happen, but you could almost control 100% of what your situation was by just paying attention, by just understanding, hey, I'm gonna make sure that everybody knows that I know what's going on, and try to show my girls that and say, hey guys, listen, look around, who's the easiest target right now? And of course, Charlie's like basing off of size and whatever. I'm like, no, who can you sneak up on and then have no idea? And you're just looking. You could every 20 yards you could pick someone else, and it was just buried in their phone. So, I think that everyone talks about travel being dangerous, and it is if you're not. But if you use common sense and you're paying attention, it's not. And I think that was a lesson that I hope that I can continue to teach these young girls that I've got, because they're targets. They are. And the scary part for me is I'm not going to be there all the time. I'm not going to be the one that's going to, because obviously someone like me or you walking around with your family, you're probably not going to be, people don't know, they look at your tats and the little baby cauliflower ear that you have, and they would probably misrepresent the fact that you are a tough dude. Like they don't know for real that you're not. You know what I mean?
That don't make sense.
But if you're not you or me, and now all of a sudden you got girls traveling by themselves,
different target.
It's a whole different story.
If your wife, daughters, and Barb went down there, just them four,
I'd be worried.
Totally different demographic, but you just being there, it's different.
And that's the scary part is, man, you take yourself out of that equation. Now you put
like
a
when
bunch
girls
of...
go on girls trips to spring break.
And there's a lot of them there.
That's what I'm saying.
There's a lot of them
They just go in groups, and they're not paying attention to nothing.
Yep. And so... yeah, that's a whole nother story, but I'm not looking
Reagan
forward.
or Charlie, when they get older, go on spring break trip. They go and they think they're by themselves with their friends.
And me and you were there.
And we're just dressed up. We got these big old Panama Jack hats on. We're just laying low by the cabana, watching them.
The tough part is my girls would tell me, they're like, Dad, you really stand out everywhere you go. You can't blend in, can you? Because I'll try and like find him, and I'm like looking around, and Charlie's like, hey, Dad. She can see me from a mile away. So anyway, but all right, I rambled on a little bit, but it was overall great vacation. I had a great time. I'm super pumped to be back home. We're gonna get back to work for a couple months, and we got some cool podcasts coming out your way.
And me and you went on a trip. And
then me and Phil going to go somewhere. I don't know where.
We should. Just something.
All right. Well, maybe we could do a vlog. We can do a vlog. Fun. Yeah. All right. Guys, until next time, this is Built by Vitality Podcast. Thanks for listening.